Hi, this is Karla Kean with the TSU Montgomery County Extension Office, and I wanted to talk to you all today about seed germination and transplanting. A lot of people are gardening these days and they're starting their own seeds, so I'd like to just share a few tips with you. First thing is you want to look at your potting mix and your trays that you're going to plant your seedlings in. You want to use a good lightweight potting mix to germinate those seeds and then to move the transplants into larger containers. There are many different brands of potting mix on the market. Just kind of remember you get what you pay for, and but you do want a good lightweight potting mix. I can't really recommend one over another. Sometimes it's trial and error to find the best one that works for you. Now, on the trays, you can buy the all-in-one seed starter trays from the big box stores, or you can even individually buy individual trays and with the plastic covering for them. I like to use Subway containers from like the platters. I also use those from cakes and cheesecakes and things like that. They make the perfect little growing environment, and they've got the clear plastic lid, so you're making your own little greenhouse to start those seedlings in. So gather your materials and let's go plant some seeds. And this is my redneck growing lab. The light that I have, the grow light that I have, was donated to Extension several years ago, so I'm finally putting that to use. As you can see, I used an old ironing board as my table, and so that's where I set my trays under the light once I've got everything planted. So you're ready to plant the seeds. Dampen the potting soil slightly before putting it into the tray. Um, I like to do this because a lot of the potting soil is hard to wet. So if you just dump a little bit of water in the bag and let that absorb into your media, um, then you want to fill up your trays, fill them up and pack them down tight. And I like starting in these trays rather than using the peat pots, because sometimes with the peat pots and even with using trays, people will forget the transplant portion of seed planting. So now we've got our stuff together and we're ready to plant the seeds. This young lady here is precisely planting beet seeds about an inch apart in a row. We also used this time to talk about the size of the seed and its shape and counted how many she put in a row. But you should really follow the directions on the seed pack for the depth and spacing requirements. And we'll jump ahead about 7 days later. See how big they are already? A little bit leggy. The entire seedling is about 3 inches long, which is a little bit bigger than I like them to be when I transplant. They're very delicate at this point. So what you're going to do is, use a plastic knife or a pencil or some other tool to gently dig those little seedlings up out of the soil. As you can see on the right, I've laid them out so you can get an idea of what they look like. You can see the little root system already growing and the top leaves there. So we're going to gently lift those seedlings from the tray and we're going to put them into a new container. Now this is a little bit deeper container, and so I took my plastic knife and dug a hole all the way to the bottom of that tray, or you do it to the bottom of the new pot. And take your seedlings and gently push those roots as deep as you can, all the way down to the bottom of the pot. And at the bottom, the picture depicts what it should look like once you have transplanted your seedlings. And no, you haven't planted them too deeply. As long as the first two leaves are showing, the true leaves are showing, it's going to be okay. They will develop roots all along that stem, and then you will need to transplant them again, even into a larger container. When watering, I like to do a pot in a pot method. I've just got a large tub where I can sit my pots down in the tub and I water from the bottom. I don't water from the top. If you water from the top, you get a lot of splashing, and water may come out faster than you think and just kind of wash those little seedlings away. So fill it up with water, and the soil will absorb that water from the bottom up to the top. So on these, I've got some little early girl tomatoes I purchased in 6 packs, and I transplanted them to larger pots. And some of the little stuff you see back there is Brussels sprouts. So I will most likely transplant these one more time into bigger pots, let them get a little growth on them before I put them out in the garden. So these little seedlings need ample time to acclimate to the outside world. So start taking them out for a little while each day until they can handle the full sun. So first day you may want to put them out for an hour, then 2 hours, 3 hours, so on and so forth. Um, and then they'll be hardened off and they'll be ready to go in the garden. So as you can see, easy peasy. Happy gardening, folks. I do want to let you all know that the Extension Office, the agents are still available. If you have garden, lawn, landscape, farming questions, in Montgomery County, you can call 931-648-5725, and one of the agents will get your call or return your call, and we're here to help you. So thank you.